Hey there, welcome to Something About Tabletop. This is going to be episode 3 and how to run a Shadowrun job. This is going to be the session on setup or prep, the planning. This is where the players get to plan and prep the job, and most importantly, gather information if it's not entirely, the Johnson doesn't have it for them. So, there are main ways to gather information. This is the face talking to people, talking to his contacts. This is everyone generally making knowledge checks if they have the relevant knowledge. Whether that be knowledge Shadowrunners, whether that be knowledge the underworld, whether that be knowledge gangs. Now this probably won't get them all of the information, but it'll give them a decent chunk to get started. At least that's how I run it. Also there's the infamous hacker. Either if they know where the place is, they can do some hacking, look at their cameras. There's always just data search checks, checking on the internet, checking web traffic of the person that they're either looking after or going for or whatever they're doing. And then also there is the mage doing astral, because in Shadowrun you can astrally project as a mage. This is only as a magician. If they're an adept, mystic adept, or aspected magician, they can't. But this is where you astrally project and fly over and have a look in the spirit world. This can be helpful or not so helpful depending on the job itself. Now, the different kind of legwork that they'll be doing and different types of information that they'll need all depends on the job. So say, I'm just going to go down through all the different types of jobs that I mentioned in episode 2 and just talk about them a bit. So in a data steal job, the information that they're going to need is the corporation that they're running against. They're going to need the maybe when the guards are around, the location of cameras and stuff like that, and how easy it is to hack if they need to know that beforehand. And then they, I guess, to achieve the job, the best way to do it is to actually hack the place and things like that, actually project and do some insurgency if they need to get someone on the inside, whether that be the face, hack them in, then they can make their way around, get the data, whatever. The assassination extraction is generally quite similar to this, except for the actual execution itself. Say assassination, you search on about the person, or an extraction, the thing that you're trying to extract and the place where it is, and then you go do it. All the end is that you're stealing and killing. That's it. It's all about the execution. Now, misdirection is kind of an oddball and fun run. This is a big run and gun run. Though depending on the type of distraction they're trying to achieve, it may not be. But usually I run these as pretty violent runs, and the legwork is on the down low. And the prep is usually which way we want to come in, and what do we want to do to be a distraction. Players can have a lot of fun with this. This is where you give them a lot of agency to do what they want, in terms of pretty much anything will work. You're making a distraction. You're not there to be quiet. You're intentionally botching a job, and that's where the best misdirection is, where you look like you're meant to be there. Now, protection and delivery are very similar. This is a reactionary kind of job, and the only type of legwork and information you can gain is about the people, if they know who they are, who are trying to get them, and maybe a bit about the person and their enemies. That's about it. Also, a good practice is to work out how you would do the mission yourself, and maybe come up with 2 to 3 ways of doing this. Now, a way to help new players is to actually give the Johnson, tells them 2 to 3 ways that they can do the job, and gives them a choice. And if the Johnson is up to it, he can even back them. So say if they need a helicopter, he can go, I can get you a helicopter, but you will dock you pay this much. If you need this, I can get you this, but we'll dock you pay this much. And this is kind of borrowing from games like Payday and recently GTA, where you can gain perks and bonuses, but you have to do a thing to get it. This is kind of what legwork is all about. So the problem with planning as a whole is that players can overplan, whether by taking too long because they're just drawing blanks. This is where you come in and help them. If they are in the presence of the Johnson can give them hints, or their plan is completely insane to the point of being just not going to work at all. Now you can either let them do it, or you can push them in a direction that this is not going to work. It's up to you and your GM style how you want to do it. And if you think they're going to utterly fail and will die, maybe tell them. And if you don't really care and just let them, and they'll learn their lesson very quickly about what you can and can't do in Shadowrun, and how lethal fighting is at least. This happens quite a bit with new people, and sometimes you just have to teach them. And if you're not off a baby hand holding, like hand holding at all, just kill them, or whatever they're trying to do, whatever insane plan it is. I mean, it's completely up to you how you want to handle that situation. Anyway, that's pretty much all about that. I can talk about planning without getting into the actual job. Thank you for listening. This was something about tabletop.